Inside Kosovo, with all video equipment confiscated, borrowed amateur cameras capture the reality, the aftermath of a flurry of violence. A few hours earlier, a soldier was killed in a shootout between rival factions of the Serbian army, who then went on a rampage through the streets. Also, as people left church, apparently police had fired on them, beaten them up, and left a trail of destruction in their wake. Other innocent bystanders, including priests and women, were taken to hospital with gunshot wounds. The army has occupied Kosovo and terrorized us for 11 years, says this man. Now they're trying to eliminate us. Every day, it's claimed, someone is killed or beaten. This woman was shot as she prayed, and a priest who tried to help her was beaten up.
They said they wanted to hang all the priests in Kosovo. What in God's name are they trying to do to us?
It's provocation. They want us to fight back so they can bring war here, just as they did in Bosnia.
During Mass, the priests beg the people to be calm. They warn that an outbreak of resistance will almost certainly bring on the war they all now expect. 90% of the population in Kosovo is Albanian, but still they have no rights and no weapons with which to defend themselves or their families. So the intimidation continues. They say if the Serbs turn on them in the same way they attacked the Muslims in Bosnia, it will be another massacre. Albanians claim to be peace-loving and liberal. So liberal that in a bizarre show of ecumenicalism, many worship in both the churches and the mosques. Their misfortune is that they inhabit an area which the Serbs regard as the cradle of their civilization. Kosovo was the arena for many famous battles with the Turks in the 13th and 14th centuries. For some time, the Serbian-dominated government in Belgrade has encouraged its own people to move into the region. However, the only ones here now are the soldiers and police who constantly patrol the streets. To most Serbs, though, it's a land of peasants, although they acknowledge it as a place of undoubted historical significance that they'll fight to retain. But the former Yugoslavs prefer to stay in the wealthier and more sophisticated towns of Serbia, whilst their policies make life nearly impossible for the people of this province. Today, Albanian children are not allowed to attend schools beyond the age of 15. However, a network of secret schools operates from mosques and private houses. Ironically, Kosovo was given full autonomous status by President Tito 20 years ago. Now, though, it's been annexed into Serbia and the economy starved of government support. Of 1 million people of working age here, only 10% have jobs.
We have no rights at all here. We're under occupation. The German occupation of France during the war was nothing compared to this. They deny us our language, our culture, our right to work, even the means to live. It's a flagrant abuse of human rights.
In unofficial elections in May, the League for a Democratic Kosovo won 90% of the votes. However, Belgrade denounced the result, and the elected representatives know that if they practice their politics openly, they'll be arrested, and patience is wearing thin. Meantime, across the border in Albania, the Tirana government has warned that it won't stand idly by if the killings and repression continue. And there's no lack of manpower to back them up. Every Albanian between the age of 16 and 19 must do military service. Every one is ready to fight the Serbs. But armed with hunting rifles and Chinese AK-47s, they look like Boy Scouts when compared with the Serbian war machine. So Albania can only protest with caution. As the rival armies keep a wary eye on each other, the hope that the politicians can come up with a peaceful solution is receding. After a year of conflict that has shattered what was once Yugoslavia, these people know that the international community has little inclination to get involved in their problems. even though every country in the Balkans could be affected. For 40 years, Albania has been the most isolated and poorest corner of Europe, enduring one of the harshest regimes in the communist world. Since their revolution, pleas for real economic help have met with little response from the West. The country is surviving on aid. Now their national boundaries are threatened. They like to remind the world that they are direct descendants of the ancient Illyrians who've lived on this land since before Christ and well before the Slav invasions of the 7th century. But no one shows much interest. Inevitably, Albanians on both sides of this border have never felt so isolated and exposed as they do today.